Welcome to the Master Your Magnetism podcast, where I bring on top experts to help you create the life and relationship you've always wanted. Today, I'm talking with Adrienne Everheart again, my good friend and fellow coach. Welcome, Adrienne. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Helena. I am so honored to be back on your podcast and your channel. It's great to be here, and I cannot wait to share all of these wonderful tips with you ladies out there.
Absolutely. Today, we're going to be sharing 10 phrases that make a man chase you, desire you, and fall in love using proven psychology that absolutely works. And like Adrienne mentioned, we're actually recording this for YouTube as well. So if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify or anywhere else, go ahead and click the link in the description or the episode details if you'd like to see a video of this episode. I had to bring Adrienne on my YouTube channel because she is an absolute favorite on there. And she's actually an expert on what to say to a man. She's the author of 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. So she's the perfect person to bring on and talk about this. And let's dive in. Is there anything you want to say before we share these phrases?
Well, I want to add that we're going to start from tame and work up to racy. So sit tight, everybody. Buckle up for this ride. We're going to have a lot of fun in this podcast and on this video.
Absolutely. So what is number 10, Adrienne? I'm dying to know.
Okay, number 10. Now, this one is something that I actually rediscovered when I was a kid. My dad had told me I wasn't allowed to say, I don't know. We were not allowed to say, I don't know, because he wanted us to really flex our mind muscle and really problem solve and figure things out and just say, I'm working on it, or I'll figure it out. I'll get back to you later. But in a relationship with a man, I want you to exercise your freedom to say, I don't know. When you use the words, I don't know, you actually let him fix it. And when he's fixing it, he feels like a man.
That is so true. It's one of the seldom used phrases, most seldom used phrases. It can be so difficult to just say, I don't know. When I was training to be a dating and relationship coach years and years ago, that's actually one of the first things I learned is to be okay not knowing and saying that. That actually creates the space for a man to step into his masculine energy and help solve the problem, which men love to do, right?
They totally love to do it. And not only that, but it gets you out of your masculine energy, which is fixing things and solving things. You know, for a while, it seemed like every night my husband and I were sitting down to watch television, and we have a Roku player, and he would say, what app is that show on? Or what channel is that show on? And I was the one doing all the mental work, keeping up with our shows. And so finally I was like, I don't know. And he actually stopped asking me all the time. And he's getting back into his masculine problem solving. I know that's a small example, but these really do build on themselves. That energy builds on itself.
Absolutely. And I would imagine this one and all of these need to be authentic, right? So it's not like pretending that you don't know the answer when you really do. It's for those moments when maybe you don't want to be the one figuring everything out, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I knew it was like either Apple TV or Prime or something, but I didn't want to do the work.
Love it. Okay. What is number 9?
Okay, number 9 is one of my favorites. I used to struggle so much with how to respond to a man when he said something over text. And this one is just surefire. It's in my book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. It is, aw, that's so sweet. You can use that phrase with almost anything. I don't care what the guy says. If he says, oh, I worked out really hard at the gym and I think I'm going to go pick up dinner later. Oh, that's so sweet. I mean, it just works universally. What you're doing is you're just having a little bit of emotion and giving a warm reply to something, but you're being neutral. And being neutral is totally okay because, again, that neutrality but warmth creates space for that man to just be the guy in the relationship and lead. But I want to tell you, when you're really stuck, go for awe. That is so sweet. It really works.
You know what I love about that one is
Yeah.
you're not trying to do something. I imagine with all of
Mhm.
these, I think so many of us want to learn these phrases to try to make something happen in a relationship. And what I'm really feeling from you here in these first two, especially, is you're just being in the moment rather than trying to move to the next step or connect with him on some mental level. So that is beautiful. What is number 8, Adrienne?
Yeah. Number 8 is you can ask if you need a hug or if you need like a little bit of a back rub or if you just want to cuddle and not talk. Now, this is something that I used to be like, I just need a few minutes. I need a glass of wine or I need to walk around the block. I would really kind of, self-soothe myself. And don't get me wrong, that is a great, healthy technique to have to go for a walk around the block, know when you need a little time alone. But it's also okay to let your man know, maybe I just really need a hug and I feel so tense. Can you just rub my shoulders for just 1 minute? And he becomes your soother. He becomes someone who's there to help you feel good. And as you know, in the work that Helena and I teach, when a man is making you feel good, he feels amazing and you feel good. So it's win-win. Don't be afraid to let a man know, I need a hug or I need a little back rub, or if he can get you or do something special for you to help you feel better in that moment. Don't be afraid to ask.
Absolutely. I use that one all the time without even realizing it. So I'm so happy to hear that from you. Men love to make you feel good, right? Especially if he's an empowered masculine energy man. And if he's the right man for you, he's going to absolutely love that. And if
Yeah.
that turns him off or if he wants something back in return immediately, might be a clue that something in the dynamic is a little off there, right?
Absolutely. And it certainly beats just going, I'm fine, which closes you down emotionally. But most guys will respond if you ask for a hug. If you let them know I need a hug, they don't have any problem giving you a little warmth and love.
Definitely. All right. What is that next one? I am loving these so much.
Sure. The next one is let's play. That's all you have to say is, oh, let's play. Now, this might sound a little childlike or like a little kid, but remember your feminine energy is very youthful spirit. It's a youthful, playful spirit. Don't be afraid to tell your guy, ooh, you want to play? Or, hey, let's play. Let's do something fun. And very quickly, he's going to say, what do you mean, let's play? What are you talking about? What did you have in mind? So 9 times out of 10, a guy's mind is going to go, play. That might mean something kind of sexy and racy, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean that. And let him answer what it means. If you say, oh, I just want to play, I want to have a little fun, and he'll go, well, what do you want to do? And go, I don't know. And then you create that space for the guy to go, well, we could, and he might start coming up with some ideas, and then you two can work together to find something playful. And that play might be a romp in the bed, it might be a board game, it might be just going to the beach and building a sandcastle together. But ask to play, enjoy that playful feminine energy spirit, and don't forget it's okay to kind of be a kid once in a while and just have fun with your partner and be playmates.
I love it. It's kind of the opposite energy of we need to talk. Let's talk. And of course, it's okay to have some serious conversations absolutely with a man. It's not about just putting that on the back burner and just pretending to be playful, but if you're in that mood, that playful feminine energy place, absolutely that is going to draw a man in and just make him want to come closer and closer to you. So,
Yes.
yeah, that is great. What is that next one? Are we on number 6?
Yes, we are. And they're getting racier, they're getting steamier. So often when we're with a guy, we get into this routine with our partnership or our marriage, or even if you're starting out and you're just newly dating, but you kind of get into this routine and everything's kind of normal and ordinary. You get into maintenance world. And whether you're newly dating or you've been in a relationship for a good long while, I love, love, love sending this text or saying this to a man. And it is, you know what you did yesterday that I couldn't stop thinking about? Or you know what you did, or you know what you said to me yesterday that I just cannot stop thinking about, or I can't stop replaying in my mind. And a guy is very quickly going to go, what? What did I do? What did I say that you can't stop thinking about? And the thing that's so wonderful and warm about this is that you're flexing that muscle that gets you to notice the positives in your relationship and the things that are good in your relationship. So when you start to notice those, you'll begin to notice more of them. And when you're focusing on those positives, you're focusing on the things that really work and feel good in the relationship. You're going to build on that, and it's going to become more and more of those good feeling vibes that you want. So when you use that text, you know what you did yesterday that I couldn't stop thinking about? The guy is very quickly going to want to know what he did that is so very much on your mind, and make sure you have something that was authentic and real that he did.
That is beautiful. And I can see the effect that would have on a man where he would want to do more of that and get into this frame of mind where he wants you to be thinking about him. So I could imagine the man in that
Yeah.
scenario being like, what else could I do to make her think about me the next day?
Mhm.
So that was perfect. I love that one. Okay, what is number 5?
All right. Number 5 is, you know what feels good to me? ... Oh, I shouldn't say. Now, again, we're getting steamier as we progress, but oh, you know what feels good to me? ... Oh, I shouldn't say. So you can send those in 2 different text messages. You can say it to a guy. Let's say you're in the kitchen fixing dinner and you say, you know what feels really good to me? The guy will stop. He'll stop immediately because men, again, really want to make a woman feel good. They want to make a woman feel good of any age. It's not even about sexual attraction. That's how men feel good, is when they give us that extra charge to our feminine energy. So he's going to want to know what makes you feel good. And if you want to be sexy and playful, you can say, oh, I shouldn't say, and get him to go, no, like, what is it? Like, what makes you feel so good? So then they're on that hunt. Then they're in their pursuit mode, and guys really feel good in their pursuit mode.
Absolutely. This would probably be a good time to mention that, of course, this is for a man whose energy is coming towards you, right? Or a man who is stepping up and doing what he's supposed to be doing in the relationship. I probably imagine that you wouldn't say you want to do this if a man has disappeared or dropped off or pulled away. Or would some of these apply in that situation too? I hear from women all the time who are wondering what to say to a man who's gotten a little distant.
You know, with guys who have gotten distant, it's really about, you don't want to invest in the relationship, but you want to stay warm. So it's about, like, I'm not going to keep investing in this relationship and giving you love and attention and feedback without, you investing in us having some sort of dating relationship or regular contact. But you can stay warm. And warmth is always an option that will bring a man closer. That doesn't mean you're a doormat. It just means you're being warm and available. And, you're open to talking a little bit, but not texting all night, things like that.
Love it. Okay, so glad we made that distinction
Yes,
there. What is
very
that
important.
next phrase? I am so curious to hear these last few.
Okay, they're heating up, Helena. They're really getting hot. All right, so this is one that I have in a video. It's a secret video that you get as a bonus in one of my programs, the ABCs to Getting Back. So I'm going to need you guys to use your imagination a little bit with this one. But it's, your body part. It can be his chest. It can be his butt. It can be something else. Looks good. Some descriptive word. Good, big, shapely, whatever it may be, in those jeans or in those pants you're wearing. Or that shirt you're wearing or whatever. So you're saying a body part of his looks so descriptive, adjective, in those jeans. Now, the one I had used with my husband was that a male body part looked very big in those particular jeans he was wearing. And the truth is, it really did. And it was kind of authentic when I was saying it, and I kind of noticed it, like, oh my God, it looks so big in those pants. Like, what's happening? Why those pants, right? But I saw the way my husband reacted, and he was suddenly so very proud and felt good about himself. And all I have to say, ladies, is that when you say this to a guy, make sure you really like the jeans or shirt that he's wearing, because he's going to be wearing them all the time. Like my
I was just
husband.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, did he start wearing them all the time? I bet he did. Yeah.
He wore them until they wore out. And then
Mm.
we had to like look on the back and find the exact brand and buy those same pants again. And he does look really good in those pants, I have to say. So it was authentic. And this is the type of thing that you just want to always be telling your guy how great he looks, and be feeding or fueling his ego so that he'll like you or appreciate you. I mean, this was totally authentic from me, but does it work? Yes, it does. It absolutely makes that guy just feel good about himself and feel sexy because you noticed what he looks like in his clothes. Guys are really insecure. I mean, this is something that you and I talk about, just how insecure that they can be. And that little bit of boost when it's authentic matters to them quite a bit.
So true. Yeah. And again, this is for a guy who is really wonderful and treating you amazing, right? If a guy is not acting right, you don't want to tell him how great he looks. We want you to get rid of that guy and move on, right? So I
Yeah.
just wanted to reiterate
Although
that.
you could walk up to a guy in the club and say this to him, it would probably work too. So sure.
Definitely. Definitely. Oh my gosh. I love that one. What is the next phrase?
Okay, the next one is, don't be afraid to be nonverbal. So it's not really a phrase, it's more
Mhm.
of a nonverbal. So men really can get overloaded with words and conversation, but they can always understand sound. And sound is usually non-threatening. I mean, there are certain sounds, like if a person's clearing their throat, you'll kind of know, like, what's up. It's like a very passive aggressive way to get someone's attention. But there are some wonderful sounds that you can be making that really tickle a man's ears and get him to feel that warm connection with you. It's really about connecting to his heart on that deeper level. So I have a super quick story. Early in my dating with Jeff, he had bought me this little stuffed animal, and that when you squeezed it, it made like a little puppy dog sound,
Mm.
a little grr and a woof. And I got really good at imitating the sound of this little dog, that when you pressed it, it would go grr, like that. And so this became something I would do to him. I would go up to him and go, "Arr, arr, arr," like this, like this little dog. And he just loved it. I mean, it totally blew his mind. And then it got to where one day he did it with me. He was like, "Arr, arr, arr," like this little sound. So don't be afraid to be playful and do and and oh, and all these other little they're not really words, but they're sounds you can make that a man really enjoys hearing.
I am so surprised to hear that one. I didn't even really think of that about that as an option, but that makes so much sense. We can tend to want to fill the space with tons and tons of words. I know we talked about this, how women can just talk endlessly, where men can't process all of that the way we women can, right?
Right, right. Yeah. So, and I think that, when you're not using language and you're using sound, it's sexy and it's sweet. And again, you're connecting. And once again, I think it's great to do this in an established relationship, but also don't be afraid to experiment with it a little bit and have fun with it with anyone. It's another way to express yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. We don't always have to use words.
I think that is great. And what is that number one phrase?
Now, the number one phrase or technique that I'm going to teach you is just really about making up your own language or your own words with your guy. So I talked a little bit about the sound that I had made with Jeff when I had that little puppy. And you can do this to ask, let a guy know you're in the mood. You can do this to let a guy know that he's doing a really good job. You can have your own language or your own words that you speak to him that make that event even more connected or meaningful. Now, I think it's my number one video. I have some words and sounds that I actually use with my husband that really sort of have this Pavlovian effect with him, that kind of get his mind in a certain direction. And, sometimes it can be something subtle. It can be your own little word you've created, your own touch plus a sound. I want you to get creative with that and think about when you and your guy are sharing a positive moment and you're maybe cuddling on the couch, and maybe that's the moment when you guys cuddle together and watch Netflix that you go, and you just wiggle into him. Well, you say that enough and you're having such a positive moment with him that whenever you use that sound, it's going to create a positive feeling in him, just naturally. So that's kind of the psychology behind a lot of these phrases and words, that you really are building on positive feelings and positive experiences so that you can create more of them.
I love it. And for everyone watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments section, do you have any special words or phrases, maybe something you and your man call each other or do together? I can see how that would create this real safe space around the two of you that he wants to come towards, right? Rather than you're this office person just directing everything and he wants to pull away from that, especially when he is stressed out and needs to recharge, right?
Right. Yeah. So guys, remember, the reason that they want to have this relationship with you and they want to connect with you at the end of the day is so that they can feel good. They're out in that man's world all day long. And when they come home to you, they get to feel good, relax, be authentic as well, and connect with your heart. That's really what feels good to them, right?
Absolutely. This was so great, Adrienne. Please let everyone know where they can find you and learn more about you. I know you have some amazing courses. We mentioned your book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I know we recorded a few courses together years ago in our Dating Unzipped collection, but I would love to let everyone listening where they can learn more about what you do.
Absolutely. So I'm at my website, everheartcoaching.com, and that's ever, then heart, Heart, coaching.com. I'm on Instagram at Everheart Coaching, and also YouTube as well. And yeah, Helena and I created some courses years back, but they are still just so relative and such great information in them. Those are on my website on the programs. That's Dating Unzipped, and as well as my ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. A lot of resources that we both have to really just get deeper in your feminine energy and practice all of these really neat, fun, creative tools, and make your relationship, brighten it up a little bit, and really build that connection that you want to have with a man.
This was amazing, Adrienne. Thank you so much. And I have to bring you back on my podcast soon. For everyone watching on YouTube, I highly recommend going and checking out the podcast episode I did with Adrienne on prioritizing yourself, feminine energy, and expectations in your love life. Also, why you should stop explaining and trying to prove yourself to a man. Very important. It quickly rose to the #1 episode of all time on my podcast. So that is over on my Master Your Magnetism podcast on Spotify or Apple or anywhere where you listen to podcasts. That's where I'm spending most of my time now, where I have my most in-depth and, in my opinion, best content. So make sure you're following me over there. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and feel free to share it with some girlfriends. This was such a fun one, Adrienne. We definitely have to do this again soon. So thank you so much. And thanks again to all the ladies listening.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.